morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to another episode of my Writer's Corner. And I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get this recorded today, but I got up early enough and got my morning routine done, and so here we are before my evil mastermind's wedding. Before I have to get ready for it, you'll have to pardon my distractions. My youngest child rescued a pair of feral kittens earlier this week, and they just went to the vet yesterday. When we rescued them, my child determined that they were males, so we named them Sam and Dean. Of course, after the Winchesters from Supernatural, because both of us are big fans. And then they went to the vet yesterday. Their now names Marilyn and Judy. My younger child came up with the names. I was throwing out a bunch of Nordic suggestions, and if my child ends up rescuing the third of the litter, we will also have an Audrey. After, of course, three of the most famous actresses of their era, Marilyn Monroe, Judy Garland, and Audrey Hepburn. It's just one more way that writing of some sort inspires people. It's been a long week. I got some editing done, a little bit, not much, but I have a double coming up tomorrow. So I'm planning on taking the manuscript with me and working on that. I did finish up another audiobook, so I am on my 13th right now. I'm still working on, 3 or 4 hard copies, and then one of my girlfriends at work gave me another one to work on. So I am going to have my hands full. I have a library. I have a full 2 8-foot by 4-foot bookcases and a 4-foot by 6-foot bookcase, all full, plus 2 banana boxes on top of that, plus I believe my child has another bookcase upstairs. So yeah, we have lots of books. We'll have books that won't even get read in my lifetime, I'm sure. But that is how life goes. We have every intention of doing things, and then all of a sudden, it's over. Which is part of the reason why I did this. And part of the reason why I have a bajillion and 52 journals. These lovely composition notebooks that I've been working on and writing in ever since my youngest child was 2 years old. That is how long I have been working on this series. I'm hoping that if I pass before I finish writing, that one of my children will pick up my torch and finish the series. But that's just a hope. I would never expect them to do this for me. But my goal is to get it done myself, because I have all of these ideas rattling around in my head and all of these voices, and sometimes it's hard to quiet them when I'm at my day job. Sometimes it's a little bit easier because I'm just so busy. But I've not been as busy this week as far as my personal life. I got a little bit waylaid this week. I've had a lot going on in my head aside from writing and with my day off and these two adorable new terrors. I've been keeping very, very busy in other ways. Um, but as you can tell, I have added another column in my writing, in my little panel back here. I'm also planning on filling up the top. You can't see it, but the next time I record, I will adjust it so that you can maybe see, because it's written in kind of a lime green, but I'm hoping to have, something underneath each of those names. I have every intention of putting another poster board back there for more information to keep straight. I started a new season of my podcast, Writer Ramblings. It airs on Wednesdays, and I even, God help me, broke down and started a TikTok channel. Now, there are no videos on it yet, but, someday soon it might happen. I have to do some research on TikTok and figure out, how I'm going to start my posts, my channel, my session, whatever. But, yeah, there's that. So, getting my brand out there. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. I have this obvious YouTube channel. And now I'm on TikTok. So if there is another social media out there, please don't tell me about it, because I don't think I have the time. But writing has been a big part of my life for a long time, and forgive me, my cannonball has once again stomped in and demanded the pets. Hopefully she will not decimate this particular recording, because she loves to rub up on things and knock things over. But she seems to be contentedly perched over my knee, glaring at Judy and Marilyn from afar, because these two have really come into their own, but I am getting sidetracked. So I finished up my editing with Blythe. I'm most of the way through the first chapter with Mythos, Liren, and Keiko. Now, if you want to know who these characters are in more detail, I highly recommend that you listen to my podcast, Writer Ramblings, on Spotify. I, interestingly enough, have listeners from all over the globe. The last time I looked at my analytics, it kind of blew my mind. It's flattering to know that people actually want to listen to what I have to say about writing, about my writing in particular. It's flattering that I've had anybody at all visiting my page here, checking out my channel. But yeah, so exciting. Very, very exciting. What else? Oh, I'm working on Keiko and Mythos, Liren and Jamian. Still feel like that storyline in particular is underdeveloped. So my big focus, I'm working a double tomorrow, like I said. I'm working another double on Friday, and I'm picking up a shift on Saturday. So my only real day off this week coming up is Tuesday, which I'm hoping to devote exclusively to working on my book. Developing more of the storyline with Mythos Keiko. Mythos and Keiko especially, because in subsequent chapters I split off and I follow both Liren and Jamian on their separate adventure, and Mythos and Keiko as they finish out what they're doing. And that needs more development. All around. I had ideas, I had plans, and then I don't know, somehow things kind of got lost. So I'm hoping maybe this wedding will give me some inspiration. You never know. But next comes the princesses, I believe. Or it may be the monster war, or it may be Tarek and the Elven Civil War. What's a good book without conflict? And I, with all of the storylines that I have going, have plenty of conflict. In this particular book, in and of itself, I have Kaylin has her own storyline, and for a while Hajib is with her, and then he breaks off with two other characters, Kimshira and I can't remember the other one's name right off the top of my head, but they go off on their own separate thing. I've got, at the start of chapter 2, Mythos, Liren, Blythe, and Jamian. And then after their first chapter, that splits off, and Blythe has her own storyline, and Mythos and Jamian and Keiko continue on. And then their storyline splits. Like I said, I have the Monster Wars. I have Princess Isadora and Princess Anya doing their own thing, as well as their betrothed, the Prince Gordon and Prince Glaive. One chapter is devoted entirely to their introductions to their betrothals. Princesses Dora and Prince Gordon are siblings, and they are introduced to their betrothal or through some events in the first book, but that whole storyline needs some work as well. Some parts of their relationship feel forced, both of them. But then again, arranged marriages are seldom amicable. I also have King Tarek and King Renee in the Elven Civil War, and following each of their storylines, as well as Sevlin, who tends to follow Tarek's storyline. And I'm pretty sure that's it for this particular book, but I posted a meme on social media the other day. It's about 3 different storytelling aspects. And the first is a picture of a train track, and it says how boys tell stories. The second is a little bit more complex with several train lines interchanging and spreading out, and it says how girls tell stories. And then it has this massive epic train yard, and it says how J.R.R. Tolkien tells stories. Now, anyone who has read his works understands that, but I'm starting to feel a little bit more like Tolkien as far as the scale of things. But I also feel a little bit like George R.R. Martin in that, following different characters and trying to be intricate and political and, see the world 15 steps ahead and write without that purview. This is the biggest undertaking that I have endured in all of my writing. The Zoe Jane files only took me start to finish about 5 years, maybe 6. But then again, that was not nearly developed as it should have been. But for a first series, trying to get those characters out of my head so that I could redirect my attention to what will hopefully and then eventually be my life's work, the Way of the Fist series, because I've dedicated so much of my life to it. But don't get me wrong, I tried to convince my child to name our cats after characters in my book so that, but then again, I've also named characters deities in the series after my children. So, I don't know if they will ever read these books, but, I'd like to think that eventually the legacy will carry on with them. Like I said in the last episode, my day job has been affecting my writing, both for the positive and the negative, and today is my 1-year anniversary at my new day job. It's part of the reason why I didn't end up going anywhere on Thursday. Well, that and the wedding. I have found that I can only tolerate minimal social interaction before I am overstimulated and exhausted. And it's tough as a writer because people are my stock in trade. And it's difficult sometimes to be around people, lots of people, for any length of time. But this is my evil mastermind, and I'm so excited for him to be getting married. But it's about time for me to start getting ready for the wedding. Hopefully, next Saturday's episode will be a little bit less sporadic, rabbit traily, however you want to describe it. But I hope y'all have a safe and happy weekend and don't get into too much trouble.